All right. Now, reveal your truth. When that card comes out, reveal your truth pretty much talks about just kind of being honest, not with other people, but with yourself, and just being okay and fearless about expressing that truth. It's always kind of hard to especially if that truth is against a lot of people's belief systems, or if that kind of truth is, offensive or whatever, right? What the point of it all is that when it comes to what you guys desire, what you guys want, that may end up maybe changing the course of someone else's life, but that isn't your responsibility. That isn't your business, right? What happens to that person? Your truth is your truth, right? So it may end up having to change some things around, but the ultimate thing is that you're living to the authentic aspect of you, which is who you are based on your truth. So reveal your truth really talks about, knowing what you stand by, knowing what your truth is, or knowing what you want with the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and going for it, even if that may end up changing a lot of course of things around. So what's interesting, y'all, is that your underlying energy is the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups being in the underlying energy like that, the focus has a lot to do with what we're looking at that we feel that we don't have anymore. Not addressing this Two of Cups that's there behind us, which is really the relationship that's still, that either remains, or that there's something new coming out, or soulmate coming in, or something that we can still work on. Now, the Five of Cups is an interesting card to get with this reading, because it kind of feels like we may have missed an opportunity or something like that. Now, the Sun can also, being underneath that, can definitely talk about knowing what you want, knowing the truth, seeing things from every angle, nothing obscured, nothing being disillusioned or anything like that. It's truly clear to, it's clear. There's no dispute as to what's going to make you happy, and there's definitely a path to get there. But the Five of Cups can make you feel like you guys have either missed the goal, you guys have missed a certain opportunity to do something. The thing is there is never, ever, ever anything that keeps you in between something. Now, if this is a relationship, you may have missed someone, or maybe you may have missed the opportunity to be in a relationship with somebody, but that doesn't mean that there's someone else it doesn't mean that there's no one else out there for you. Okay? It's don't let your options be limited to what you've been focusing on, and what you've had your attention on, and what you know. Don't let your experiences be dictated by what you've experienced already. Okay? And the Five of Cups really is emphasizing this, because just because you may have missed one opportunity doesn't mean there aren't other opportunities. Third option may be gone, but option number 2 and option number 1 are still available. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? Know what you want, but understand that even though the opportunity that's presented itself may be gone, there's other options that you can pursue. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this reading here. The underlying energy. We just talked about the underlying energy. The past energy here is the Eight of Swords. So, Cancer, you guys have been thinking a lot in your head. You guys have been feeling really stuck, feeling really trapped in your thoughts. I think you guys have kind of put yourself in a situation here in the past where you guys, what the Five of Cups is suggesting, you missed an opportunity. You feel like you couldn't do anything. You feel like there's nothing more you could do. You feel like that was your shot. That was everything. You were done. But I kind of feel like as well, the Eight of Swords kind of being in the past kind of emphasizes to me that you realize that this was just all in your head. This was a reaction to what you've experienced, right? A missed opportunity, or a situation where something has passed, or something was gone, or something was missed. This was just a reaction to it, and you know that this is just all in your mind and just all your thoughts. Now, I feel like the wonderful thing about this reading is that the Two of Cups is in your present. So, that being said, some of you guys are already aware that there's another option out there. There's other things that you could do. There's other things that you can there's other things that you can pursue. Now, considering the Two of Cups doesn't necessarily always mean a thing or an opportunity, it usually indicates a person. Now, there's another person that's either in your present at this moment, a soulmate, a friend, a relationship, someone that's a potential relationship that could be in a potential relationship with you. They're in your present at this moment, or this is the time where they may show up. I don't want to predict any sort of futures for anybody, get anybody's hopes up, because anything changes based off of the energy and our focus and our everything. So, with the 2 cups coming up in the present, that means that the options that we thought that were gone, that were lost, or the relationship that we thought was broken into shambles, or the situation that we thought we lost completely, or the support we lost, we still have the connection, we still have the relationship, we still have the other person, we still have something to work on. And that 2 of cups is in your present. You have an option here. You have an option. You have a relationship. You have an opportunity to do something with what you got. And I feel like a lot of you guys are realizing that. You guys are taking a look at it and noticing it. However, you guys are looking, obviously, at the 3 cups. The 5 of cups is so, on point with this. The 5 of cups is you guys, even though the 2 of cups is right behind you, and it's literally right behind the 5 of cups here, you know that there's a relationship here. Or maybe some of you guys are not aware of it. Not aware of it because you guys are not looking in the right direction. You guys are looking at what you're not happy with, which may be that you don't have a lot of support. Maybe that some things have been, some things were fun and great and dandy for the time being, and they're not like that anymore, And it's about, I feel like some of you guys may want to try to get back to the old ways of things, but you can't because, there is nothing to go back to, There's nothing to go back to. Not in a morbid sense, but, whatever that experience was, whatever that time period was, it was there for a certain time or a certain reason, and you've already lived for that reason. You've already completed what that reason was. It may not have been pleasant, it may not have been happy, but that experience alone is not something to revisit. At least not in this reading. And when I see the 5 of cups come up with the 4 of cups here and the 2 of cups here, I kind of get the sense that for a lot of you guys, this is about really going for a new cup, not looking at what you've missed and how you can get that back, but taking the loss and replacing it with a new aspiration, with a new goal, not with the old goals, not with the things that you had and that you loved or that you cherished, because that time is done. What do you want to create now? That's why that Knight of Cups, Page of Cups that fell out came out like that, because it's about focusing and cultivating a new dream and making that new dream a reality, right? Well, the Knight of Cups is not very much of a reality seeker. He's all about the dream. And dreaming is the biggest part, allowing yourself to dream. And I think a lot of you guys may be dreaming or may not be dreaming because you guys are using the old or the past as a reference point as to what you guys want later or now. You have an opportunity to do something different with something that you have. And you can do that by focusing on what you want to feel rather than what you've lost. Because you can't get the lost stuff back. Now, the future is showing the 8 of Wands. So, of course, this is talking about maybe there's a lot of progress being made, a lot of things moving fast. But most importantly, even a lot of communication. A lot of talking. And I kind of feel like, once you recognize or once you really truly accept the 2 of Cups that's in your present at this moment, because this is the 4 of Cups here, you're like, either you don't see it or you do see it and you're not really sure if this is what you want because of what you've already experienced, what you've lost, what hurt you in the past, and that tainting your view on what can come. But I feel like if you see that there's an opportunity to start anew, start again, start in a direction and where you believe you want to go, right, or where you want to experience, then things open the door to great possibilities. Things start to accelerate, be faster and change, and even build up new passions. So your best path to follow is the Hierophant. And I feel like what the Hierophant is saying here is to commit to changing your commitment. So commit to changing a certain belief or a certain pattern, a certain structure that you may have regarding how regarding the thing that you lost here, right? Regarding, how things you believe should go. Because obviously how things have gone, obviously it didn't work out, or it's outlived its expiration, right? It's done. And I feel like with the Hierophant, yes, it talks about committing to, so it's commitment. It talks about, stability and structure and all that. And, sticking within the status quo, sticking within the box. I feel like this is telling you that, hey, your box is open for new, for remodeling and renovations. Take this opportunity to come up with a new box, come up with a new belief system, come up with a new structure, a new routine. You don't have to be bound by the old ways of doing something, because the door is open for you to create something new with it. And the truth is, reveal your truth, right? Is that that's true. You know that there's a new door that's open, and you don't have to live by the old ways of things, because the old way is not here anymore. The old way has made a space for you to make something new, or you made space for something new to come in. I really always feel like you are the person that made the new space, even if it may have been conducted by someone else. That change has allowed you the opportunity to implement new routines, new beliefs, new structures, things that honestly support you 100%, rather than supporting the old you, or the old way that she used to be, that doesn't apply to you anymore. You're a brand new person, Cancer. That's what it looks like. And it's about embracing that new you, and, embracing either the new you and the new people that are attracted to that new you, instead of kind of always clinging to the old way that you used to be, when it doesn't fit that you anymore. It's like, see, the person in this card is removing the mask. The old you. You have to come from underneath that old mask and really, and embrace that new you. And that the way you do it is by committing to 100% to yourself first. Not even committing to a relationship. Even if this is someone that's coming in to offer you a cup of love, or offering friendship, right? Or friendship, a cup of love, it's the same to me. But even if this is someone that's coming to your life saying, hey, I want to date you, I want to go out with you, I want to do something fun with you, I want to develop a relationship with you, I want to develop a friendship with you, whatever this is, you can't, it doesn't matter if they do that or not. Have you accepted who you are first? There's a person that's come into your life, not necessarily because, this is an opportunity to start fresh, but to also this is also a mirror card. This person is mirroring you. This person's doing the same thing that you're doing. It's figuring out either who they are, developing a new desire, developing a new want, but ultimately, maybe this is about trying to figure out who you are and seeing who you are through them, right? Soulmates, right? So this person may come into your life not because they need you, but that you need to see yourself through them. And not in the sense of like a very like a Libra passive way, but more of like to understand yourself. Because this person is very similar to you, if not almost the same. Okay? Now, your external energy is the Four of Cups, and I like that, sort of. But the thing is that the Four of Cups does talk about apathy externally, nothing interesting, nothing new, nothing exciting. And it's because, again, you're looking at the old ways things used to be, how you used to be excited about things, how things used to be more entertaining than they used to be. You've already experienced all of those things. What would you like to experience now? What would you like to feel now? What would you like to pursue now? What kind of emotions do you want to have? What kind of, dreams do you want to have now? What does this new you want to experience? Because the old stuff, okay, you've already done. You've already experienced. They're already done. What do you want to feel now, right? And that is the same situation. The Four of Cups come up in the external because the Two of Cups is, it is coming up and, in a really weird counter way, if that makes sense, to the Two of Cups, meaning that the person that's come into your life is showing you that there is a new way to look at life, but there is an old way that you're holding on to, or an old way that you haven't really adjusted away from yet, to embrace something new. And that new is truly seeing and feeling and experiencing something brand new that you want to experience, going after a totally brand new dream. And it could be the same dream, but with a different outcome, with a different, with a different process or a different approach. It doesn't have to be a brand new everything. It could just be that, hey, maybe you still want to be, a fashionista or a hairstylist, and sure, maybe you had the opportunity for a free college. And you may meet somebody that's got something similar going on. Maybe they wanted to be, a business person. They had an opportunity to go overseas to learn that, and at a college that was specialized in the MBA. But the both of you have other options and other avenues to go forth to make that happen, make that a dream. And you realize that by your interaction that there's other ways that you can do something because you help another person. It's interesting, right? Because you guys are healers. You guys are very loving, and you guys also are very healing, and just by figuring out your own stuff for yourself. It's very interesting. But the thing is that either, you two collaborating together is going to help your situation, because you finding someone else another solution is going to help you find your own solution. Or maybe even this person is coming into your life to help you find out the solution that you need for yourself. Your hopes and fears is the Page of Cups. It's understandable when it comes to something new, or it comes to a new dream, there's always that little fear of it never coming true, right? That fear of that, this is a beautiful dream to have, this is something I really love, this is something I really want, but is it possible for it to actually manifest into something real? And the answer is, hell yeah. But you have to believe that you can create that. And you have to continue to have faith. Now, the Page of Cups, in my opinion, is the cultivation of faith. Kids are always hopeful. Kids are always, unless, there's some kids out there that are very pessimistic, but mostly kids are always full of fantasy and dreams and ideas. And they're imaginative. They're boundaries for imagination are endless, because they also have that opportunity to go and they're in and out. They're half into the spirit world and half into the physical world. This is only when they get to a certain age that they're no longer part of that spiritual energy anymore, or it's part of that spiritual realm. They're not split between that two, and it's totally engulfing the whole physical world. And even though we're adults watching this and we don't have that beautiful, imaginative, creative side of us that we used to have as a child, or some of us maybe do, which for those of you that do, that's amazing, and congratulations, I'm jealous. It doesn't mean that you can't have a dream and it can't manifest. It doesn't mean that, that you can't even relearn hope and faith. Because it starts by just with little dreams, little steps in the direction that can show you that, yes, things can come true. It doesn't mean that you come from a very passive place. It just means that you come from a place where you can truly believe in your abilities to execute certain things and to manifest them into real life. So I feel like with the Page of Cups, the biggest thing here is the fear to hope, as well as the hope to be happy, to truly have what you want, to have the thing that you absolutely want, that you've been cultivating, nurturing, and loving. But it takes time to build up that faith, and that's okay, because you have plenty of time. What's interesting at the very end here is that you have death in your outcome. And with death being in your outcome like this, it does talk about letting go of the old, embracing the new. Right? Leaving behind a situation that not only no longer serves you, but that truly has had its time, and embracing the possibility of a new day, of a new dawn, of a new journey, of a new dream. Realizing what no longer is serving you, and opening the door to what can. So with death, I do see you guys knowing what you need to release and knowing what you need to let go of, because I feel like you're already aware of that now. Knowing what changes that you have to make, what commitments you have to make for yourself to embrace the new life that death brings in, the space that death makes. It's a powerful reading, fam. Holy moly. Let's see what the power of surrender cards have to say, okay? All right. Wow. Surrender your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. And you know what that means, fam. Right? The old obsession, the old things that you guys are looking at, right? That's no longer, that can't be fixed, or no longer that's there. It doesn't mean that you can't replace it with something that's better, that's more art savvy, or something that builds out, that gets your, your creative side out, that encourages you to be the version of you that is honest with everything and everyone. That's the real you, the healthy alternatives that can encourage you to be yourself a lot more, that can open the door to authenticity and alleviate that door of shame that you sometimes close if you guys have addictions or certain things that you're focused on that doesn't really make you feel good about yourself, So I feel like when it comes to releasing addictions, and not just saying, I don't think everybody that's watching this reading is either, the drugs, food, people, sex, or overworking. It could even be that you guys are addicted to an old way of old ways of being, an old pattern, an old routine. Could be that you guys are addicted to helping people too much, or extending yourself farther than you are, allowing to replenish yourself. There's a lot of things that can come into the surrender addiction card. It's just really what things are holding you back right now, or what things that you have that kind of keep you on, stable, that you feel like you need. What are those things? And to completely remove those from your life, or not completely remove those from your life, but find things that help you to empower you, not to disempower you, or to help you face your truth, help you to accept you for who you are, instead of either feel guilty about it or whatever. Because there's nothing to feel guilty about. You're a beautiful human being. Every last one of you guys. I may not know your story, and I don't need to know your story to know that you guys have beauty that the world deserves to see, and that you deserve to express, regardless of whoever believes it's beautiful or not. And I feel like this is one of these readings that's telling you guys exactly that. You're beautiful no matter what. Do not hide yourself. Do not let addictions keep you from expressing the real you. And if those addictions are doing that, what changes do you want to make, or do you feel like you should make, to allow yourself to be okay with being yourself and not hide that?